Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
From the top rope, kid and kill the roar so loud. Black and gold waving, we're a fearless crowd. Under them lights, the fight burns bright. Greatest team assembled, ready for the fight. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From a Hawkeye view, see the whole state rise. With a heart so strong and fire in our eyes. On the field, on the court, in the stands, we shine. The best in the game, and the state is mine. Cover Hawkeyes, marking, watch them break that press. Dropping dimes, hitting threes, never second guess. Full court hustle, hit the sneak aside. With the fight in our veins, we red at pride. We stand tall, we stand true. Every game, every play, got the Hawkeye view. Legends rise, and we all knew that the black and gold's coming straight for you. From a Hawkeye view, see the whole state rise.
All right. Welcome back to another season of Hawk's Eye View. Andrew Barber, Drew Shipley with you. Drew, how's your summer been?
It's been so long, Andrew. Your beard is fully back. We are in football season mode. I love it.
This is a football beard.
Football beard. Much like hockey beards, but way cooler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, it's been a long time since we've talked. Summer's been busy, especially with work. A lot of things have happened since we've talked last. What ESPN's made like $10 billion worth of deals in the last 3 days between the NFL and WWE getting premium live content. I don't know if you saw that today or not.
No, I didn't see. Oh, well, I saw the Red Zone thing. I'm all nervous about this now because I'm nervous that Red Zone's going to start to have commercials.
Yeah, it's no longer going to be 7 hours of uninterrupted football.
That's not ideal.
I mean, they might split the difference and like split screen it. You know what I mean? Sometimes live TV, they do that. Like they won't actually interrupt the programming, but they'll still run the commercials over it. I don't know. A lot of things have happened. I'm just ready for football season, actually. It's time. It's August 6th. I'm actually coaching football. That's what I've been doing this summer.
Yeah, I saw that.
I've been coaching football. So
what age group again?
8th grade.
8th graders. Oh, that's a fun age.
In Indian Woods Middle School, they funnel into Shawnee Mission South. They're the Raiders in Chief Country, and it makes me smile.
There you go.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
So the team's looking good. We'll predict a perfect season for the 8th grade Indian Woods team.
They were perfect last year.
Oh, so they'll just repeat. Okay.
It's a pretty good program, and according to the coaches that were there last year, the defense is even better, and the offense is probably about the same. So, I mean, we're expecting similar results to the last year's 6-0 season for sure.
What position are you hanging out with the most?
Defensive backs. I'm in the back seven. I'm with the linebackers and corners and safeties.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever brought this up before. Did you play that position?
I played for Newton a long time ago. I graduated in 2004.
Yeah.
I wasn't anything special. At best, my senior year, I was the nickelback. So if we were running 5 DBs, I was usually the 5th. Or if one of our corners went down, I rotated in. I mean, I probably played less than half the plays, but not like riding the bench the whole year, I guess. It was not my best sport, let's put it that way, but I do enjoy it very much.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's cool that you're getting out there and being involved in the community. We love to
Yeah.
see that. That's part of what we do at Three Beards, right? So
Absolutely. No, it's great.
you're giving back by giving your time to those kids. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a crazy summer, I guess. I guess work's been busy and planning a wedding. So
Oh yeah.
we're trying to figure all that out. And
How is that going? I mean, it's been a long time since we talked about this. It's not going at all. It's not going at all, is it?
It is not going. It is yeah, we are just enjoying the engaged life. We are just, in a world of instant gratification, maybe we're enjoying some delayed gratification here. So that's where we're at. And
so do you
I think we'll just enjoy life and take it as it comes.
Do you have a date in mind then, and then everything is back planning from that, or like the date is in question as well, and that's why you can kind of push things down the road?
Yeah, dates in question. Everything's in question. All ideas are on the table.
Oh,
Submit your best ideas. We'll review them. Within reason. We're working on a budget here. Very tight budget.
I am going to a friend's wedding in PA at the end of the month, Labor Day weekend, and it's pretty bougie. My tailgate friends that we ended up making out in Washington the 3 years that we were out there, those guys, my tailgate crew, the daughter's getting married. Well, and it's their only daughter, so it's going to be big. And like you would vomit to know how much money that they have publicly told us how much they've spent, and maybe probably even more than that. 70
20 what
70,000
70,000.
Yeah. That's just what they've publicly said. So it could be, and that was before we left. That was the price tag of the wedding before we left. Now we're a month out, less than a month out. Things are popping up. Yeah. Their photographer wanted $1,000 more for an extra hour when they already have him booked for like 7 hours. He wanted another $1,000.
Oh boy!
And let me tell you something about.
Yeah, this is.
Let me tell you something I learned about pictures of weddings, Andrew. Just hire a friend. Just hire a friend that do it pro bono, or a reasonable price. Somebody that's good, that does it as a hobby. Because how many of those pictures I have printed around my house, framed, hanging around. How many of those pictures we've reviewed?
5?
Maybe. And we're almost at a year. So, I mean, you're only going to look at them less and less. But I'm just saying, I would not splurge in the photography section of your budget. That's all I would say. There's my 2 cents for you.
I like that. We're on board. We're on board with not splurging on that item. Don't know how to segue this into Hawkeye football, but here we go. Okay. I made a big addition by locking Bethany up. The Hawks made a big addition by getting Mark Gronowski. There we go. Let's I kind of was thinking maybe we could just do this thing a little bit offense, defense, kind of position group by position group, maybe spend a little more time on certain position groups. But I think offense, it all begins and ends with kind of the quarterback room, which looks entirely different. Cade McNamara, Brendan Sullivan out, James Rezar out, even though he wasn't really part of the equation. But Mark Gronowski, Hank Brown, Jeremy Hecklinski in, Jimmy Sullivan and Ryan Fitzgerald in. as freshmen. The only guy from last year that's left, I think, is Stratton. So that's the only guy who played quarterback at Iowa last year who's still on the roster. So
That,
complete overhaul.
that's a lot of quarterbacks on a roster, is it not?
Yeah, it is. Fitzgerald's son is a preferred walk-on.
Okay.
Jimmy Sullivan is on scholarship. I can't remember the Stratton situation, if Stratton's on scholarship or not. Hecklinski is, Hank Brown is, Gronowski obviously is. So I think we have 4 guys on scholarship and 2 walk-on scenarios.
I mean, when you're talking about the depth chart, is that really going to matter though? Because from what I've heard, like Jackson Stratton is out playing Hank Brown for backup. Did I read that correctly?
Depends on when and where you looked. So I think that's an interesting conversation for next year. I really think I've heard a lot of great things about Hecklinski. I've heard a lot of great things about Hank Brown and how he's been more consistent as well. I think it's going to be a real interesting battle next year between Hank and Hecklinski. So, see. I think Stratton will kind of be the odd man out in that equation.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But
well,
obviously,
I'm just saying, how many quarterbacks have we played in the last 3 seasons? Over the course of a season, right? So, like, I think it's valid to talk about the backup and even the third string situation, because I guarantee you there's at least 1.5 quarterbacks that play for Iowa this year, and not just because of garbage time.
I think it will mostly be because of garbage time this year.
I hope you're right, but I mean the recent past proves otherwise.
Right.
I mean, have we had when's the last season that we had a starting quarterback play and finish all 12 games?
Kind of 2022. Petrus for most of the year. Same for 2021 was kind of more hit or miss. We played Padilla a little bit more. 2020 was Petrus all the way. So
for what, the 6 games?
2024
the 6 games they played?
8, yeah.
They played. That's right. They played. Did they play 6 or 8? They played 8. You're right.
Well, they played 8. Yeah, they played 8.
Well, they were supposed to play 8. They played 7. They
played 8 in the regular season. They were supposed to do like a matchup with Michigan because of the Champions Week standings thing.
Yes.
Champions Week. They're supposed to have a bowl game with Missouri. That didn't work. So they're supposed to play 10, but they only played 8.
Okay.
Valid point, 2024 and 2023 for various reasons, kind of a hodgepodge at quarterback for Iowa. I think we're a little bit more stable here now, and we're a little bit deeper now at the quarterback spot.
Yeah, definitely deeper. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Another thing I guess I kind of want to tack on about the quarterback spot here is the analyst edition, the Warren Ruggiero coming over from Wake Forest. I think that's a big reason why we got Hecklinski, because that's where he came from, was Wake Forest. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year in North Carolina. He's like 5'11", so he's maybe a little bit undersized, but can sling it from what I've heard. And some people are throwing out that, okay, I'm going to throw this out. Some people are throwing out Drew Tate when they talk about Jeremy Hecklinski. I'm not going to go there. I haven't seen the guy even throw a football at any level. So I'm not going to say he's Drew Tate, but behind the scenes, that's what certain people are saying. People involved with the team.
Okay. I mean, people involved with the team have said a lot of great things about Petrus and a lot of great things about,
right.
you know,
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
Deuce, who's no longer with the team either. You know, I mean, I had such high hopes for Deuce because of what everybody had told me, and then I probably after he transferred out was the last time I like started freaking out about prospects coming to Iowa. That's 3-star, 4-star, whatever, especially at the quarterback position. I'm just like, I'll wait until I see it instead of like getting my hopes up. I mean, James Resar, he was a 4-star, was he not?
Yeah, he wasn't necessarily viewed as a quarterback by a lot of people. I think that's going to be a situation where he ends up playing a different position at his next school, even though he wouldn't do that at Iowa. He's going to end up playing wide receiver at his next school.
What is his next
and we'll
school?
Probably, who knows? I think it's still up in the air. But let's not bury the lead too much here. The big addition, obviously, Mark Gronowski. Perfect fit for what Tim Lester wants to do. Great fit for what Tim Lester wants to do on offense. I just think he's going to elevate this offense a lot. Specifically the running element of him, and also just the more solid, consistent passer. Last year, like when Sullivan came in, we liked how that looked, didn't we, Drew? We liked how that looked.
That was the best the offense. That was the best the offense had looked all season long when there was a threat of running the football at the quarterback position. 100%. And Brendan Sullivan was more than capable of doing that. So, I mean, the absence of him, like personally, is kind of a bummer for me because I felt like that was a good package to throw in offensively. That always got positive yards. But tell me more about Gronowski and his capabilities then.
Gronowski is a little bit more of a power runner. He's a big dude. He's 6'3", 230. He's gonna try to run over some people. He's not afraid of kind of that power running. I mean, he can be elusive. He can make people miss, but I think but I also think as a passer, he's a little bit more developed than Sullivan as a passer because we saw kind of the limitations as the season went on with Sullivan. Maybe some of the throws downfield, some of the decisions downfield, not as consistent, not as good. I think that's something that Mark Gronowski is going to elevate as well. So, yeah, I think losing Sullivan hurts, but I think we're in a much better spot now.
So running the football quarterback position wise comp like Tim Tebow?
That is kind of the comparison. FCS Tebow is what people have called Gronowski.
Oh, wow. I pulled that out of my ass. I didn't know that.
The multiple championships and the leadership that they talk about with him as well.
Okay.
Kind of screams Tebow as well. But, I mean, I'm obviously not going to say he's Tim Tebow at this level. Iowa's winning the national championship, anything crazy like that. Do I think he's capable of being a solid runner and a solid passer? Yes, I do think so. You think about Minnesota last year, who brought up Brosmer from the FCS ranks, and it was his first year, and he put up some decent numbers. He didn't come with all the accolades and maybe even the talent that Gronowski has. So I think Gronowski is a little bit higher profile than Brosmer last year.
And Brosmer's in an NFL camp in Minneapolis as well. I guess from what I've heard, he's been playing pretty well up there.
Sure, yeah. He's a he's probably more refined as a passer. They're different kind of players, but I'm just kind of talking about like like if you're concerned about bumping up a level, I think that's valid, but we've seen it play out where guys can bump up a level because I mean Cam Ward started his career at Incarnate Word, then Washington State, then Miami. You know, I'm not saying Gronowski is going to be number one pick, but we've seen FCS to FBS up transfer at the quarterback spot recently and have it work out.
Pop quiz. Do you know where Incarnate Word is?
Louisiana.
It's actually in San Antonio.
Okay, never mind. Close. South.
South, it's a neighbor. You're all right.
But not far enough west. Okay. All right. Nice. I don't know. Anything else for you on the quarterback spot?
No, I don't think so. I'm just ready to see some live reps, man. I want to see it in action with live teams, you know?
We should talk about that because Kids Day on Saturday. So we'll get some news there on Saturday. And then the Big Ten does their annual visit to Iowa on Monday. So we'll not necessarily live reps in both of those scenarios, but it's kind of our only two public looks before the season starts at the Iowa football team. So we'll see Gronowski, all the other quarterbacks in action on Saturday. So I'll be curious what comes of that from quarterback and all other positions. Running back, obviously going to be a different ball game without Caleb Johnson. Moulton probably going to project as the starting guy. Made the Doak Walker Award watch list. A lot of guys make the watch list.
Yeah,
Basically,
don't they start at like
100?
Don't they start at like 100 people?
Yeah, they do. If you're a starter at a power conference school, your name's probably going to be on the watch list. And Moulton's projected as the starter. This is where I was talking about quarterback run, I think is going to help the running game too. I don't think we're going to have maybe the standout Caleb Johnson breaking tackles, touchdowns, and Moulton. I don't think we're going to have the one guy. We're going to see Moulton. We're going to see Patterson. We're going to see Terrell Washington Jr. in some capacity at the running back spot. I've heard about freshman Nathan McNeil. I've heard about Xavier Williams. I think this is going to be more of a Moulton's going to be the guy that starts the game. We'll kind of see how it's going. We'll mix in Patterson. We'll mix in Washington. And it could be where you have a couple of guys around 800 yards kind of thing. 800, 700 yards with Moulton and Patterson and 7 or 8 touchdowns apiece, that kind of deal.
Okay.
And Gronowski will help out by chipping in. I mean, he's averaged more than 400 rushing yards per season, Gronowski has. So I'm not saying he's going to replicate that at this level, but he's going to replicate something close to that, I think. And maybe 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback. So I think collectively, it's going to be different for the running game and the running back spot. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys at the running back spot this year.
Okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you're not, keeping tread on the tires. And if you don't have to bell cow somebody 30 carries a game, then, I think that's positive.
Yeah, I think so too. You're definitely going to be running 3 or 4 different guys out there, I believe. So,
I mean, is that kind of like Brad Banks' tenure as quarterback for Iowa? What was his running back situation? Was it Adam Robinson, Brandon Wager?
Oh no, those guys are way after Banks, man. His running back.
Stanzi. I'm sorry.
You're thinking of Stancy. Brad Banks' running back situation was Jermel Lewis and Fred Russell.
Oh, wait, Fred Russell. Okay.
Let me look at Brad
Then
Banks.
I was thinking Stanzi's tenure them.
For sure. Yeah, Fred Russell, Jermel Lewis. So some good backs there.
It was Fred Russell. Let's just
Jermel Lewis had 700 yards. First year Brad Banks, it was a guy that we know well, Liddell Betts.
Oh, well, yeah, he was kind of good.
Yeah, junior year Banks was Liddell Betts. So that was a pretty good combo there.
Yeah, no kidding. Jeez.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know if we have maybe a surefire NFL guy at the running back spot. I think we have some guys that are good college running backs here. And I think collectively it's just going to, I think what I'm seeing here through two positions, overall kind of where I'm going is the offense isn't going to be as predictable because you have that quarterback run element. You have a little bit more of a solid passing element coming from Mark Gronowski, and there's not necessarily one running back that you're going to lock into. I mean, I guess you could say Moulton is the running back that you're going to key in on, but there's a lot of other options there. And Lester has the ability to get creative, I think. I think Terrell Washington Jr. is a guy that can be used in a lot of different ways. We kind of saw that in the bowl game last year where they used him a little bit in some different ways. So I think there's a lot more options for Lester here this year.
All right. Look forward to seeing how I look forward to seeing how he pieces it all together.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm going too. Like, I think the rushing offense numbers won't be as good this year, obviously. I think the passing numbers will take a step up to kind of offset that. All right. Wide receiver spot.
Yeah, it'd be nice to not be predictable on offense for a change.
Yeah, I think we might have that luxury. Oh, one thing that I want to tag on about Gronowski, throws on the run are going to be a thing that he can do. So that will be nice. I don't think we've had that since CJ Beathard or Nate Stanley. Kind of depends on how you feel about Nate Stanley. Nate Stanley could kind of throw on the run, but for sure Beathard could throw on the run.
I mean, we would take a Nate Stanley in the last 4 years, that's for sure.
Yes. Yes. But I think Gronowski is really comparable to CJ Beathard in a lot of ways, but maybe bigger, stronger as a runner.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of comparables there. All right. Wide receiver spot. I think tell me your thoughts here, Drew.
Is this going to be the third consecutive year you tell me about Seth Anderson breaking out?
No.
Oh.
It's not. It's not. I think there's a clear top two here. And it's two guys that were on the team last year. Gill and Vanderzee, I think, are the clear top two wide receivers.
Couldn't agree more.
And I think they have an advantage too because it's just their second year in Lester's system. I'm curious as to who that third is going to be. I think Phillips was brought in with kind of the intent that he's going to be that third guy, and I think he could be probably as the season goes on. So I think Phillips is going to eventually take over that third spot. I just don't know who's going to start out there because, yeah, Seth Anderson will be in that mix. KJ Parker will be in that mix, as will Jarrett Bowie, as could Dayton Howard. I don't think there's one necessarily standout go-to wide receiver here for Iowa, but I think there's overall depth, kind of like what we talked about with the quarterback position, where there's actual scholarship worthy depth at the
Yeah.
quarterback spot. There's that at the wide receiver position now, where there's actual power forward Division I college football worthy wide receivers, multiple, 5 or 6 of them rather than 1 or maybe 2. I think Weegan, I didn't even mention Weegan. I think he'll get in offense at some point. So I think the story of wide receiver is kind of who's the third spot.
I think the story is health.
Mm.
That position group has been decimated with health over the last few years,
Right.
As I kind of, inside jokingly said, Seth Anderson, how many games has he played healthy in 2 years?
Right. And when we've seen him be healthy, he's looked pretty good too.
Yeah. What was the opening drive of 2024? The touchdown?
2023. It was Cade McNamara's first year here. Right away, opening drive, touchdown, bomb to Seth Anderson.
Yeah.
So we were riding high at that time.
Yeah.
But I like Jacob. I like Jacob Gill. He's consistent. He's reliable. He played. He was durable. Reese Vanderzee started off strong last year, but from what I've heard, he's kind of pumped it up and is a little bit more ready for like the physicality than he was last year.
Yeah, because he didn't play the last 4 or 5 games.
He was a true freshman, man. He wasn't necessarily ready for the physicality of the Big Ten right away as a true freshman. I think this year, this whole offseason's been about getting ready for that. And from what I've heard, he's kind of stepped up. So I think he's a nice red zone target when we get down there.
Okay.
But yeah, again, third guy. That's what it really comes down to here.
Yeah. I'm okay going into the season with not like I don't know, like a clear number one or having expectations of people coming in, coming out, but like, oh my God, this is the best guy we've had since, McNutt, or we have, since DJK. I'm actually kind of relieved that we don't have a guy, because then you're tempering expectations, right?
Yeah.
That, if they're all of similar level, they're a similar threat, then you have to guard all those, you have to defend all of those guys, as opposed to just trying to lock one down. So.
Yeah, I also think this is the first year in a while where we have guys who they have various skill sets, right? Reese Vanderzee is kind of your big-bodied wide receiver, your true X, I guess, if you want to call it. Jacob Gill is just like your consistent route runner, consistent hands kind of guy. And then you kind of have Phillips, Anderson, Parker, Bowie kind of battling it out for that slot spot, or Gill could factor into that slot spot if like Bowie or Howard really emerges somehow. So I think you have guys who can do various things or attack defenses in different ways, which we haven't always seen that at Iowa. It's kind of always been, we have guys who are like very similar. They're maybe not true outside wide receivers at the Division I level. Right. I think we have multiple guys now that are true outside and true inside. I don't know when the last time we really truly had that. Maybe 2019 when we had Brandon Smith and Smith Marset and those guys. Maybe that's the last time we truly had those kinds of wide receivers.
And didn't you feel like by and large Brandon Smith's career was kind of what could have been?
Yeah, I do think we didn't take advantage of that in all the right ways. But that's part of the former offensive coordinator's failings.
Yeah, Charlie Jones, Tyrone Tracy, all those people.
Right. I mean, those kinds of guys in a Tim Lester system would flourish. I also think that's a big part of year 2 for Lester as well. Offensive line. This is a huge strength of the team. It's one of the best offensive lines in the Big Ten. You've got Logan Jones and Dunker, who are NFL draft picks for sure. You got Pieper, who finished the year strong last year at right guard. You got Bo Stevens at left guard. The only real question mark is left tackle because Richmond's gone. But the question mark is left tackle, and there's just a whole combination of guys that could play at left tackle.
And it turns out that's the most important position on the line, right? The blind side tackle, right?
I mean, yes, it is. But we also saw how we had an offensive line with Linderbaum, and Linderbaum was the only guy that was really Big Ten worthy. And somehow we were able to make that work. We didn't really have anybody who was Big Ten worthy at any of the other spots, and we were okay.
Yeah.
So we feel good about 4 of the 5 spots going into this year. We've got it pretty solidified. Left tackle, the options are kind of Trevor Lauk, who was a 4-star offensive tackle recruit, who's kind of been behind Richmond. Dotzler, who's a Barnett guy, hasn't played. They brought in D2 Bryce George. So those are kind of your 3 options at left tackle. That's kind of what we're going to get answered, I think, on Saturday during Kids Day is who's that starting left tackle. We'll find that out on Kids Day.
Yeah.
I'd probably lean Trevor Lauk right now, but I don't know for sure.
It'd sure be nice to have Caden Proctor right now.
We don't say that name on this podcast.
What did we nickname him last year?
We don't actually recognize that name.
What did we nickname him last year?
He who must not be named. Did we give him the Voldemort treatment?
I gave him a vulgar nickname, I recall, but now I don't remember. We'll have to go back to the tape, but
okay. He who must not be named.
Yeah. He who must not be named was number 2 on the freaks list this year, so that kind of sucks.
Oh, well, we have 3 guys on the freaks list.
That's true. We do.
Logan Jones, Pieper, and Preston Rees. So we're good. But yeah, I mean, we have Jones and Dunker who are just solid as a rock. I think this is going to be one of the better offensive lines that we've seen in a while at Iowa, which I think, again, is going to help elevate the offense.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're also going to see growth from the running back position too. Like you said, we don't have that breakout Caleb Johnson player, so that offensive line play should open up, plenty of playmaking chances for that position group.
Yeah. So I think, but also that's just classic Iowa, right? Like having a good offensive line. That's kind of when Iowa's had their best years on the field. It's when the offensive line is good, when the defensive line is good. So we can come back. I think now is a good time for a break, Drew, if you want to.
Yeah, we'll take a break, flip the defense, we'll make some season predictions, and we'll get out of here.
Let's do it.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proof on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing your home, or if it's simply time to renovate the one you're already living in, you need an experienced mortgage professional to help you analyze your financing options and to make sure the closing goes smoothly. And that's exactly what you get when you call Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. Kyle's experience and expertise, coupled with Wintrust's rates and programs, ensures you'll get the mortgage that's right for you. You may even qualify for down payment assistance. Before you reach out to a realtor, call Kyle and get pre-qualified, empowering you to start shopping for the home of your dreams. Call Kyle at 515-473-0546. Kyle Lehman Wintrust Mortgage, 515-473-0546. In 2023, a crack Green Beret named Dan Douglas retired his military command and promptly escaped to a full-time career in real estate. Today, this man is wanted by home buyers and sellers who want to survive the process without spending a fortune. If you have a home to sell or want to buy one, maybe you can hire Dan Douglas at Green Beret Realty. You can find him at greenberetrealty.com. greenberetrealty.com.
All right. Thanks to all our sponsors, as always. And we'll come back and we'll talk defense. Drew, let's start defensive line. Your thoughts on the defensive line this year?
I would just say in general, in defense is I'm not going to pick one position group. I would just say, generally speaking, there's some concern, right? 2024's Iowa defense wasn't, up to snuff or what we're accustomed to, right? Like a top 10 defense. Well,
right.
What we was relegated down into the top 25 defense, and we've lost even more talent since then. But like in Parker, you trust at some point, right? You just keep it in the game. Like, I don't even know what a realistic expectation is, I guess. You know what I mean? Because they've just played out of their asses for like 5 years. That like what is
right.
normal? I think we settle into a new normal of maybe we're a top 40 defense year in, year out. And because the offense is significantly better, maybe that helps elevate the defense. They're not on the field for 40 minutes a fucking game, you know? I don't know. I don't know a whole lot on the defensive side of the ball, if I'm being honest. I just know there's not a lot of returners.
There is on the defensive line.
Okay, on the line.
The defensive line has a lot of guys returning at key spots there. Yeah, I echo your thoughts. There's definitely concerns in the back seven. The front, there's no concerns. There's a very high floor there. It's one of the best defensive lines in the Big Ten. Phil Steele actually rated it as the number one defensive line in the Big Ten.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's for those who don't know who Phil Steele is, he's the guy who's put out college football rankings every year for, 40 plus years probably. He does this. He ranks every single position group in like nationally and at a conference level. And he ranked the defensive line number one. And a lot of that is kind of the projection of Max Llewellyn. We kind of saw Max Llewellyn really take off. Showed us a nasty spin move. He's got some real pass rusher moves. So we're expecting him to kind of take off, which would be cool for me because he's an Urbandale High School product. I got to see him play in high school quite a bit. Also got to see Jaden Harrell play quite a bit, who's probably going to start at linebacker. So that'll be we'll have a couple Urbandale kids running the Iowa Hawkeye defense, which will be very cool for me to see because I got to cover both of these guys at the high school level. Aaron Graves is back.
That's who I want to see be an All-American, Andrew. I mean, if you wanted to pin me down on one thing about the line, that's what I want to see. I mean, we've been talking about him since he arrived on campus, and he's just kind of gradually gotten better. We haven't seen like an explosion of like elite.
Drew, if Aaron Graves hits your All-American hopes, that's the best defensive line in the country. Then it'll be the best defensive line in the country.
That's what I want to see, and that's what I'm expecting because that's what I think. That's what I thought we recruited, right? And we've seen glimpses of that. We haven't seen consistency of that. You know, you may, I don't know, when he's at his best. I mean, he's absolutely excellent.
Right.
But I think consistency's been the big thing for me.
We have Herkett back. Herkett's been solid on the other end there opposite Llewellyn. He can get after the quarterback. Brian Allen, we've seen flashes of Brian Allen. He'll be involved. Yosei Epinesa will probably be involved in some capacity. That's AJ Epinesa's younger brother, 5-star defensive end. He'll definitely play some when it's a pass rushing situation.
Is he a true freshman?
He's true freshman. This is his first year on campus. And then we brought in Bryce Hawthorne from South Dakota State too, who was teammates with Mark Gronowski. And there's rave reviews about him in the summer, when he came over in the spring and fall. And they're actually saying that he's out playing Graves. He's going to start next to Graves, most likely. But he's a sophomore. So we've got him for a couple of years. And he's got 3 years of eligibility, I believe. So hearing that he's out playing Graves is interesting to me because while maybe Aaron Graves hasn't lived up to our lofty expectations, he's been pretty good, Drew. I would say he's been solid. He hasn't been a terrible disappointment. It just maybe hasn't met very high expectations. But if Hawthorne can generate pressure from the inside, I think that's going to kind of really help this defensive line out too, because if you have to worry about interior pressure as an offense, that's something tough to overcome on offense. If you have to worry about tackle rushing you, that's problematic. So I'm curious how. I think that's the only real question is who starts opposite Graves. It's either Hawthorne or Jonah Pace from Central Michigan, who's another transfer. And then we still have Pittman. We still have, can't even think. There's depth. There's depth at the defensive line spot. But the top end talent at defensive line is very good as well. So
I mean, if Phil Steele is saying that they're number one in the Big Ten, where are they nationally? Did he rank them nationally?
I can't remember where he put them nationally.
Certainly, that would have to be top 10. You would think.
Have to be top 10 then. That is, if they live up to that kind of billing, that's something. But like you talked about, like there's concerns on the back end. That could be helped out a lot if the front four is really, really good. That makes life on the back end much, much easier.
I mean,
the script, if they're stopping the run on the front.
The script is flipped over the last 3 seasons, right? 4 seasons of, you're arguably the strength of your defense was the back seven. As the defensive line was younger. I mean, producing all Americans at corners and safeties and shit like that. Like those days may be done for now. But yeah, I think you're
For
right.
this year, maybe.
No.
For this year, maybe. But we know we run a 4-2-5. We got the little cash spot. So we'll have two linebackers, probably going to be Harrell and Carson Sherrar, who are going to get the first crack at it. But there's a lot of young talent kind of at the linebacker spot that people are excited about. There, Landon Van Kekerix, Preston Rees, Cam Buffington. There's another name I'm forgetting. I think there's a chance that this could kind of be a revolving door, Drew. I mean, ideally, Harrell and Sherrar just lock it down from the jump, and it's just not a concern. That would be the ideal scenario.
Right.
But there's talent there to where if they have to go to the depth because Harrell or Sherrar aren't meeting the expectations of the coaching staff, there's depth there. There's just not a lot of experience. So that's kind of problematic at the linebacker spot. And then on the back end, there's kind of some changes. Longpa's switching to strong safety, which is what he played in high school. So I think that's going to be a little more natural fit for him. Entringer is playing the cash. And then I think Letmer is going to play the free. TJ Hall has locked down cornerback 1 status, from what I understand. So,
I wouldn't say locked down and TJ Hall in the same sentence, but hey,
he's locked down cornerback 1 status for this Iowa team. He's locked it down.
Maybe he's like the running joke that Riley Moss was when he was younger, man. Like everybody cooked Riley Moss in his younger years, freshman and even into his sophomore year. And then he was an All-American. Who knows?
Yeah, we've seen guys take that leap.
Josh Jackson.
Right. We've seen these guys who have been in the program for a while and just haven't put it all together. And I think that's probably the best hope on the back end for Iowa is that a guy like TJ Hall puts it all together and truly becomes a number 1 guy. I mean, but he is, I guess what I'm trying to say is he's the for sure starter.
Yes, he is. He is.
At 1 cornerback spot. The other cornerback spot, that is going to be something to watch as kind of fall camp begins. I think Barros from South Dakota, who came in as a transfer, is going to have a shot at it. Kirk mentioned Jalen Watson at Big Ten Media Days. That's a sophomore corner, his second year in the program. So we'll see there. That is kind of where it gets sketchy, is that number 2 spot. I think Lee is probably going to get the first chance at it because he spent the most time in the program. He started before.
Yep.
But I don't think they'll be Phil Parker certainly won't be afraid of switching to Barros or Watson or anybody else that we may not even know the name of.
Yeah.
At this point in time. I think that's going to be cornerback 2 is going to be a revolving door.
I mean,
but I do think Entringer is going to be Cash is going to be a good deal for Iowa. I think that's going to be a step up from where we were at Cash last year.
what?
No, I do. I think Entringer is a stud.
You're saying
People just haven't gotten a chance.
You're saying he was better than all Big Ten Castro? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do. I think he's got different skills. I think it'll be a lot more like when Belton or like Hooker or Geno Stone were running around back there. I think he's got more ability to kind of maybe make some of those plays in the passing game.
Okay.
I think Castro was really good at diagnosing the running game and then flying in and blowing that up all the time. And he did make quite a few interceptions. This is not disrespect to Sebastian Castro.
I just
think
how you're selling it to me is if he plays better than Castro, sign me up, man. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the hopeful side of things. I also think the other hopeful side of things is Xavier Nwankpa flipping back to strong safety, which is where he played at high school. I always felt like he was maybe a little out of position playing free safety. I'm hoping that will be a boost, that he plays strong safety. And then, free safety, I think there's question marks there. I know people in the program like Lutmer. I think we saw Lutmer play. I think he played okay when he filled in last year. But it is kind of a big loss to lose Quinn Schulte back there.
For sure.
Who was such a mainstay. And I also don't know about the depth on the back end there. So if there's one spot that can't afford any injuries, it's that back four. Or five, if you want to include the cash spot. It's really that back five can't afford a single injury all year, probably. So that is
that's gonna be
that is the real concern.
We
would. I mean, regardless of what you thought of John Nestor, we would feel a lot better if John Nestor was here on campus still and in the equation, or they were really going after. They were going after another transfer. I can't remember where he was from. He was a MAC kid who ended up. He's one of the better corner transfers from Miami of Ohio, I believe. But I can't remember where he ended up. But that's why they were going after not just one, but two corners in the transfer portal, and were only successful in getting one. That's where you'll kind of see. If you'll see it show up anywhere, that's where you're going to see it show up, I think, the most.
I mean,
that's the one position that I think throughout the roster doesn't have depth.
I mean, there's only so much money to go around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially in programs like Iowa State. I mean, the numbers that I've seen thrown around in the SEC is just insane. And Iowa State is not going to compete with that kind of money.
Well, Iowa State for sure not. They are having financial troubles. Their own athletic director admitted that they're basically UNI, which is wild.
Then they have to pause. Then they have to pause Sci-Town. They had to pause Hilton Coliseum upgrades and shit. But then in the same breath, they gave Matt Campbell $1 million fucking raise.
Well, yeah. Anyways, we won't go that deep into all that. Iowa can meet the new revenue sharing cap. They can afford that, and we'll continue to be able to afford that because of the Big Ten TV money and the conference that they're in. So they'll be fine in that regard. There's a lot of questions with that too, Drew. Like how much outside of that revenue sharing cap can you spend? Is NIL going to work the same way it has when it's been the wild, wild west?
It sure didn't seem like it, because when I was listening to Travis and Ross when they had Beth Getz on a couple weeks ago, and it didn't sound like much like Iowa State was handling with Brent Bloom, just bringing him on as like a Learfield employee, technically speaking, like as still like a revenue generating fundraising person. She really was kind of reluctant about what Brad's future role was going to be, because he's certainly not going to end up with an office in Iowa City. Like it was it was pretty close to that. Has a direct quote from Beth that, I mean, it's not going to be somewhere within the university. So I don't know. Do you know anything like Swarm specific?
No, I don't,
I
man. It's been very silent. But I didn't mean specific to Iowa. I meant in general. I don't know how like the collectives and spending outside of that 20.5 million number, is that going to be allowed? I don't know. We'll see. That's something that will have to get sorted out. Because if that's not allowed, then theoretically
they should have shut that shit down before they should have shut that shit down before they just said free for all. Like it's too fucking late for that.
Right, too late.
You're not going to reel all that money.
Also, the Big Ten and the SEC will advocate for the cap being higher because they have significantly more money coming in, so they will want the cap to be higher because they would probably like to share more with their athletes to, again, attract better talent. So,
yeah, I mean,
anyways,
you know what? This can come clear back full circle. One of the very first things we said on this podcast, or I said it on this podcast, was all the collection of what ESPN has done in the last few days. You know, everybody knows they're SEC country, right? That revenue generation is only going to grow. So I look forward to when the SEC television rights come back up. I don't know when they do, but how much is that going to take now?
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Well, I think we should go ahead and talk about the future of Iowa football and make our season predictions.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Reese Dankin.
Okay. Hey, let's not forget special teams. Let's not forget special teams because, no joke, Iowa's going to have one of the best special teams units in the country this year.
Yeah.
Drew Stevens is awesome. He'll be one of the finalists for the Groza. Reese Dakin will be up there for the punter award, the Ray Guy. And Weechin, we already know how good he is as a returner. So, as a kick returner and a punt returner. So, we should feel really good about where special teams is. It's such a luxury. I almost glossed right over it because I don't even think about it because LeVar Woods has it as such a well-oiled machine. We don't even have to talk about it most of the time.
But hey, we can go into our predictions now since we mentioned them.
All right. I gave both of it. I marked down wins against Albany and UMass at home. Do you want to?
I won't push back on that. No.
Okay. All right. Then we'll start in with the real predictions with week 2 at Iowa State. Drew.
When's the last time the Cyclones won in Ames? Like 2013?
Yeah. It's either 2013 or 2011.
It's been a long. It's been a long damn time, and it's going to continue. I'm going to give Iowa the win at Jack Trice, actually, especially coming off of their first 2 games. I mean, they're going to Dublin in week 0, and they have a tough FCS game in that week 2 for them, which is week 1 for everybody else. So I mean, they're already going to be 2 games in, and maybe some injuries are starting to pile up, and the tough competition. I mean, neither of them is a cakewalk, and that Kansas State game in week 0 is going to really loom large for Iowa State. So I think there's a lot of things working against them. So
yeah, I would agree with that too. The week 0 trip to Ireland, that's a tough game right off the bat. Kind of a weird deal. Cool, but weird. And then they come back home and play South Dakota, which is like supposed to be a gimme game against an FCS team. So we'll see. South Dakota is not very good at the FCS level, but you're thinking South Dakota State, Drew.
I must be. Maybe
yeah,
South Dakota back in the day was better. I don't know.
Yeah, South Dakota State and North Dakota State run the FCS now.
That's right.
Our friend Mark Gronowski was basically running the FCS for the past 4 years. But yeah, I've got a win, and yeah, we haven't lost there since 2011. I also think hearing Tim Lester talk this offseason, I don't know if you heard the interview with Chad Lysico or read the article that Lysico put out recently with his that kind of accompanied his interview with Lester. Yeah, he basically said not that he wasn't prepared for the Iowa State defense, but that he hadn't faced that style. He said he spent some time in the offseason to review that tape, and he's figured out the Iowa State defense. Basically, were his words. It's like I figured it out. So I think this is gonna get I think it could get bloody. So for Iowa State.
That would be great.
But anyways, yeah, so we've got Iowa 3-0 through 3 weeks, and then they go on the road to Rutgers. It's a tough place to play, kind of, because it's such like a sleepy spot.
They fucking suck, Andrew. 4-0.
Yeah, they do suck. I do like Shiano. I do think he'll get on bowl game eligible somehow, but they're not beating the Hawks.
No.
So 4-0, and then that sets up a home game against Indiana. Oh, the Rutgers game is on a Friday night, by the way. That's another thing that makes it kind of tricky.
Oh, another one of those nasty East Coast Friday night games. That's stupid.
East Coast Friday night game in September. But then to finish off September on the 27th, we've got Iowa, Indiana. Still don't know the time on this one. I don't think. But Indiana obviously went to the playoffs. And that's kind of the story of Iowa's schedule is there's 3 teams that went to the college football playoffs on their schedule. All 3 of those teams are at home. So that makes it somewhat better. Indiana brought in Mendoza from Cal, the quarterback, and Surratt, their wide receiver from last year, is still there, as is a lot of their defense. This is a tough game, Drew. But I think Iowa's going to pull this one out, and I think we're gonna head to 5-0.
I look at Indiana much like I look at Iowa when they play the big boys, when they play Ohio State, they play Oregon. Just get their dicks kicked in, but they beat everybody else, which is why they made the playoff last year, because their schedule was pretty much trash, for being honest. So I mean, I think Iowa, Indiana, talent-wise, I think are pretty even.
Maybe.
I think the head coaching matchup is pretty unique. Cignetti's kind of an arrogant fuck, and Kirk Ferentz is Kirk Ferentz. I'm gonna give the nod to the Hawks as well in Kinnick. I don't care what time it's played. Hopefully, it's a night game.
That is my hope as well. I'm not confident. I haven't looked at what the other college football games are that week. That might certainly impact if that's a night game or not.
Yeah.
Iowa gets a bye week on October 4. And then they get to travel to Wisconsin. Now, we destroyed Wisconsin last year. I think we're going to destroy Wisconsin again this year. I don't know what Wisconsin has really done in the offseason to solve any other issues. And the Luke Fickell, Derry Raid, whatever he's trying to do there, they have no identity, Drew. Whereas before they kind of had that identity of being a physical team That's
Right.
kind of gone in the Fickle era. Not to mention, Wisconsin has the hardest schedule. They play at Alabama on September 13. They play at Michigan the week before they play Iowa at home. And then the week after they play us, they get Ohio State coming to town. Then they go to Oregon. I've looked at Wisconsin's.
What's their win total on DraftKings or something?
I don't know. It probably 5.5, maybe.
I'll take the under.
I would take the under as well. I think this is a 4-win football team.
Oh my god. Who made that schedule?
Yeah, because they get Ohio State at home, Oregon on the road, Michigan on the road, Alabama on the road, Washington at home, who I think is going to be better, Indiana on the road, Illinois at home, and then at Minnesota in the rivalry game. Their only chances at a Big Ten win, I think, are Maryland and maybe Iowa if something funky happens. But that's it. I think they're looking at maybe one Big Ten win this year, Drew.
Here's my thing. I'm going to go ahead and say win against Wisconsin as well, but I think you and I both know we're going to trip up on a game between season beginning and now. Despite the fact that we've both predicted that they're 6-0 now.
Yep.
They're going
6-0.
They're going to fuck up somewhere.
6-0 heading into a matchup with Penn State.
Okay. Well,
So I don't know where that will put us in the rankings, but this is going to be probably the game of the week if Iowa's 6-0.
it's in Iowa City.
Yeah. The Penn State and the Oregon and the Indiana games all in Iowa City probably are our toughest Big Ten games in Iowa City, I would say. So
A lot of people are predicting Penn State to be the number one team in the country, and I don't see it. Everybody's got a hard on over them. I don't think we're going to beat them though either. Like I don't think it's going to be one of those traditional 45-3 thanks for showing up games. I think it's going to be competitive, but I think at the end of the day, Penn State's a more talented team. I think Penn State wins.
yeah, I think this is going to be a heartbreaking loss, Drew. I may be in attendance for this one. We'll see. So that'll be cool. But I hope it's not as heartbreaking as the Saquon game that I attended. Iowa, Penn State, when they had Saquon Barkley, where we almost beat them. But yeah, I'm predicting a loss here as well.
I was at the last game that Iowa upset Penn State in Kinnick.
08? All right, no, 2021.
That's right.
Yep. I wasn't at that one, but that was a great moment. We were riding high.
we were riding high. That was great.
We were thinking we were going to go to the national championship
Until the following week.
with no offense. That was almost about to happen. All right, we get Minnesota at home too. So this is a nice little stretch. I mean, the opponents aren't easy, but we get 3 games in a row, starting with Penn State at home. Minnesota, we owned them last year. I don't know what they're doing at quarterback. Maybe that's my ignorance speaking there.
Well, it's not Brosmer. It's not Brosmer, so the pig stays home. We can move on.
Yeah, I think the pig's going to stay home, and we can move on to the next week where Oregon comes to town. Now, I like Dan Lanning. I like the Ducks, but they kind of crap the bed at the end of the season. And also, something cool about this game is they're going to bring back the 2015 team to Kinnick for this game. The CJ Beathard team, the undefeated squad. So I don't.
5 yards, Iowa.
Yeah, so I don't know who's going to be in attendance. I do think there's a question at quarterback. Dante Moore has a lot of talent. He's going to be the quarterback for Oregon. We'll see, but I think there's some questions there. I think this is a trip-up spot for Oregon. I don't know if they're going to be ready for this kind of an atmosphere, really. I think Iowa's going to beat Oregon in Kinnick Stadium. They're winning one of these two against Penn State or Oregon. I'm picking the win against Oregon.
I guess between the two, I would also say it, but I'm not putting that as my official prediction. I'm saying Oregon wins that one too. 2 losses there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next week we go to USC.
Well, that fucking sucks. You know how we play on the coast.
I do know how we play on the coast. USC has their fair share of problems too. But I am predicting a loss here, just kind of based on the history. But who knows? Things could really crumble on Lincoln Riley. They're not necessarily on the verge of a national title here. A lot of people are high on them. I don't know if they're going to live up to those expectations. Lincoln Riley wanted Mark Gronowski. If that tells you anything about their quarterback situation, he wanted Mark Gronowski. So did Miami before they got Carson Beck. They wanted Mark Gronowski.
And they really didn't.
I'll take a loss here. Are you doing the same?
They really didn't want Carson Beck either.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way I'm picking Iowa in the state of California. That's not happening.
All right.
You're gonna have to show me something else in the Pacific time zone.
We'll be pleasantly surprised if Iowa pulls out a win. We've beaten USC before, though, right? The last time we played them.
Yeah, at the Holiday Bowl.
At the Holiday Bowl, the Clay Helton USC.
The night before I got married in Iowa, the Friday night UCLA game, we were not so lucky.
Oh crap! Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Then it's Michigan State at home. Revenge spot from last year. Also late November. I think there's still probably a lot to play for if you're Iowa at this point. Because
on your prediction there is, on mine probably not. I mean, if you go 10
maybe.
If you go 10-2,
I don't know. I mean, 9-3. It depends on, I guess, a lot of other factors. But yeah, on mine there probably is. Yours maybe not. But I think this is a nice revenge spot for Iowa after the debacle last year. I don't see a similar debacle unfolding in Kinnick. Give me Iowa to beat Michigan State here.
Handedly, easily.
In the second to last game of the season.
Yes, agree, 100%.
Okay. On the road at Nebraska. Everybody's riding high on the preseason hype train for Nebraska, like they always are. We're hearing the Dylan Raiola. Dylan Raiola's making his own hype train, saying he's just as good as Mahomes. I mean, I don't believe it. I don't buy any of it. Iowa again at Nebraska. Drew Stevens, game winner again. Rinse, repeat. Iowa 10-2 in my book.
Iowa 9-3 in my book. They win in Nebraska as well. Yep.
Sweet. Even better if it's a scenario where both teams need it for the playoffs and Iowa prevails. That will be even sweeter. Or even if Nebraska was on the verge of making the playoffs somehow and we were able to prevent that, that'd be sweet. So
I will tell you this, Andrew. I think there is more likely of a chance that Iowa no, I don't want to put it that way. There is more of a chance that Nebraska is not bowl eligible than they are being in the playoff. I mean, look at Nebraska. Look at Nebraska's schedule. Let's do that before we part ways. Look at Nebraska's schedule. I could see 7 losses on there.
Well, they start with a road trip to Cincinnati on a Thursday, 8/28, which is a weird deal. They're favored by.
So it's technically not a road trip. It's down here at Arrowhead.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of
They're
those.
playing Cincinnati, which is weird to open the season. Let's look at their Big Ten schedule.
Just say you give them the Cincinnati win. Just start 1-0. Just go ahead. I'll give them that one.
Yeah, and I'll give them Akron and Houston Christian. I'll give them 3-0.
Okay. There you
And
go.
then it's Michigan at home,
Loss.
3-1. Michigan State win.
Yep.
Maryland on the road, 5-1. Minnesota on the road, 5-2.
Loss.
Yeah. Northwestern at home, 6-2.
Man, yeah. Okay. Yep.
USC at home,
Loss.
6-3. UCLA on the road, Nico Iamaleava, 6-4.
Loss. Yep.
Yeah. Penn State on the road the week before they play Iowa, 6-5.
Loss. Loss and loss.
6-6.
And that's because I gave them the Cincinnati game.
Welcome to 6-6, 5-7 if you lose to Cincinnati.
That's what I'm saying.
Welcome, Nebraska fans. We're your biggest haters.
I'm saying it's realistic. They can go.
I mean,
5-7.
it is. It is realism for Nebraska, but they believe that 10-2, 11-1 is coming. Fun little look back here. I picked 11-1 last year, so we're down. You went 10-2 last year, so we each went down slightly.
I was also close. I was also closer.
Yeah, you were closer. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. Drew, it's good to be back. Do you have any other closing items before we just call it a night?
Yeah, I think Andy Katz's power rankings of Iowa basketball at number 15 in the Big Ten's fucking trash. That's all I have to say.
Don't worry, I used our Twitter account to go after him.
I saw it.
And then immediately got lectured by a Cyclone fan about reality, which I thought was extremely ironic.
You also got us like 10 to 12 more friends or likes or follows. So
David Eichholz is actually officially following us, which he wasn't before.
I saw that.
He was like the first ever guest on the show, and he didn't start following until like a week ago or 3 days ago. So it's cool. It's cool. But that's one thing I'll mention is we might be tweeting more, so don't get annoyed with us. Hopefully we'll try not to be too annoying. But we'll probably be tweeting more. I don't know if we'll do live tweeting, maybe some live tweeting of games. We've done it in the past.
Yeah.
Could do it again. But yeah, we'll be back pretty much weekly now, right, Drew? Because we've got a lot to talk about. Yeah. So we'll come back next week. We'll kind of talk about Kids Day, the Big Ten Day at practice, and any other news. Maybe we'll slide some basketball recruiting in for both men's and women's because there's some things going on there. But
are you going?
Yeah, we're about to. I don't think so. I think I went last year.
You did go last
year. It was
year,
okay.
Yeah.
They don't reveal. If you want them to reveal the full capabilities of their offense or anything like that, I'd say temper your expectations. You're probably gonna see plenty of Gronowski because he needs the reps.
Yeah,
I think. But I don't think you're gonna get as much information out of Kids Day as you maybe want. So
sure.
But we'll learn something. I just don't know how much you can really learn until actual live game action starts.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, all right. Anything else before we call it a night?
No, sir. I'm good.
All right. Well, with that, thank you as always for listening, and we'll be back next week. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Talking football, talking hoops, every sport in between. IOWA, yeah, you know what I mean. From a Hawks eye view, see the whole state rise. With a heart so strong and fire in our eyes. On the field, on the court, in the stands, we shine. The best in the game, yeah, the state is mine.